All right, Michael, so here's that last swing you just made. Nice big draw out there, buddy. There are a million other things wrong with your swing, Michael, but again, you can't rebuild Rome in a day or whatever they say. But you see why that thing's drawn there, buddy. And you see how much better that looks than what you started with today. Right here. Much different on the downswing. Much more what you want, like the tour players. And your setup was much better there where you're farther from it. And that downswing especially, and then you just turn your hands over earlier, so it creates that hook instead of that weak slice feel out to the right there. Okay? And then from face on, it looks pretty good too, where your arms were extended pretty well starting out, but they'll be even better as you get used to this on the downswing over here on our left. And then Gary, where you started today, from face on, didn't look too bad in a lot of ways, again, compared to the tour players. But right through here is where the most significant difference occurred. Yeah. Is right through impact there, where those arms were scrunched away from the ball. They weren't extended, and that right hand didn't turn over as much as what we'd see for the tour players at that point. But I would say that's of secondary importance to getting the downswing playing better. And you did very well with that once you started working on it. Right here was the first one. So that's much better than that. And then took another practice swing. Again, trying to make a half swing. Yeah. There you go. Much better there than that. And then after impact, it looked a lot better, with the club head being above the line instead of underneath it. And then here, the club shaft on the new blue showed up through the top of your left shoulder like the tour players, and no left arm showing. And as you kept hitting balls with that, it kept wanting to take a smaller and smaller swing. So you see that's more above it than the practice swing. And this next one, yeah, that got a lot better. You see the balls are starting to the right fairly strong for you for 6 or 8 balls. And then I said the second piece of medicine would be to turn those hands over earlier. And then sure enough, those balls started going better for you and having a little draw. And that was the weak one there where you got more above it on the downswing. And over here, it didn't really change too much on the look on the video. Those hands turned over a little bit earlier as shown on the video, but that's not the important part. What's more important really is go by the ball flight as to whether or not you turn your hands over early enough. This is the last swing we recorded. Yeah, so you see how that's really definitely kind of a glancing blow through there. All right, but you definitely felt it several times there and got a few good draws. It started to the right and went quite far compared to where you thought they would have gone because you felt like such a small swing. Because there's so much power in being on plane. So let me try and see back to that best one. I think this is it where it looked best on the video. Yep. And again, you'll have to turn your hands over right at the start of your downswing for a while to get that face squared up in time. All right. Yep, go ahead. That's fine for you, yeah. That'd be fine for you now. This is Joel Suggs. I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend and showing you your swing on the 2D equipment that I have. And so I want to take about 2 to 3 minutes to just show you around Meadowlinks. This is the studio I use in the winter for all my students. You see there's the down-the-line camera angle for our 2D equipment. And then we have the face-on camera angle also. And then what we also have here is the 3D equipment to where I can show you your swing from 6 different camera angles with this 3D equipment, and we can get your swing from down to the 1/120th of a second in terms of exactly what your hips, shoulders, and hands are doing in the swing. And then also, I have the most realistic hitting curve I've ever seen from puttersedge.com. So when you hit your full shots, it feels as realistic as possible. And then I have 3 different green speeds for you to practice your putting. 9.5 on the step meter, 10.5 on the step meter, and 12.5 on the step meter. That's benefited my students tremendously. And then also I have a lot of learning aids like this Smart Stick. You can see the rest of those learning aids over here in my bag that we can work on to help you learn the certain fields in your golf swing that you and I both want. And then also I help my students a lot with their equipment through the winter. This is a frequency analyzer where we twang your club and it gives us a reading here. And then also we plot your whole set, each club on these lines to see if the set is really matched or not. Quite often they aren't, and it helps my students tremendously when they find out what clubs are the offending clubs. And then if we get tired of being indoors and we want to go outdoors and get some, we can do that. It's my daughter! Ellie! Good to see you. I haven't seen her in weeks. No wonder you've been gone, Ellie. You've been out here playing in the snow all this time. But this is our natural turf area. This is closed until April, as you can see. But it's a fantastic area where we can step outside and hit some balls and get some real ball flight. Or, if we get pretty satisfied that things are looking better on the video here, we're kind of cooped up inside and want to go outside, we can step on out and hit balls and see real ball flight for about 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, however long you and I can stand the cold, out into the air, and we see them land at these different flags. I have a yardage book for this driving range. It's the first one I've ever seen in my life where we know exactly what it is for the front, back, and middle of each green. And again, the covered area here is heated, so we stay out there for about 5, 10, 15 minutes, like I said. It enables us to see some ball flight, and then we get satisfied that things are looking the way we want, and we come back inside, take off our coat, and look again at the video equipment to see how your swing's looking, to make sure that you understand it. And then notice too, my exercise ball up top here, and then also, so I help my students a lot with their fitness through the winter, and then I will help you also with your sports psychology, with your golf psychology from the golfpsych.com people down in Texas. That's helped my students tremendously a lot over the years too. So again, I sure enjoyed meeting you down at the Cincinnati Golf Show this weekend. I look forward to seeing you again out here this summer at Meadowlinks, or even right now in the winter. I have a lot of people that work on their games with me right through the winter. Check out more information about the things I do to help you at joelsuggs.com. Take care.